And as I have progressed in my ability to live this law, to live the law of tithing in connection with the law of consecration, right, I have experienced in the fullness of those blessings in my life where I truly start understanding what Jesus was talking about, that when you consecrate it and you free your heart from Babylon, you don't have to worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Lord takes care of you and provides for you. That's what Jacob said. If you seek first the kingdom of God, if your heart is pure, right, the Lord will provide. The Lord provide everything you need and more because he trusts you.
Yeah.
Right? Those eternal truths of the universe will work in your favor because you are a friend of God. Well, you are a producer for the kingdom.
And it's for people who are hearing this saying, boy, I really do want to give more. I don't know if I'm in a position currently to do it. We're definitely saying like, hey, this is not overnight.
Well, the beauty of it is it's not about how much you give.
Yeah. Well, that's true. But what I was going to say is, first, if you read these scriptures, it clearly indicates, first, be a good steward. If you have, and the church has, financial assistance classes now that they offer, if there are struggles with finances, like, hey, I'm just not very good at managing this, well, first, learn to be a good steward of that. And learn to start making sure you budget and know what do I really need and what really is my surplus.
And one thing we didn't hit on, but a very important part of the law of consecration is not being in debt.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying is, if you're in that situation, okay, first, start to work to be a good steward and get out of that situation. Get out as much debt as possible.
What are you going to do? Consecrate your debt to the church?
Yeah, you can't do that.
They don't want that.
Well, people would love to do that.
Yeah.
But
that's not being a good steward.
Yeah. So first, focus on being a good steward. Do what is necessary to be a good steward. Start really understanding and figure out, what are my needs? What do I really need? And then once you do that, that alone starts to free you from Babylon significantly. But then when you could be a producer and start giving to Zion and start giving a better, start giving a more pure tithing and then really increasing your fast offerings, that helps significantly.
Brigham Young was present when the Lord revealed Section 119, the law of tithing. So he was assigned to go out among the saints and ask for their surplus property. I'm sure
lucky him.
He was thrilled about that task. So he asked Joseph Smith, well, who's going to judge what's surplus property? And Joseph said, let them be the judge themselves. So that's exactly what you're saying, the litmus test. And so as a result, some Latter-day Saints offered all of their surplus property. Some offered some of it. Some offered none. No one was coerced, right? Covenant society, there is no coercion. It's free will and choice. And so the point here is that so it remains.
Same today.
The law of consecration is not coercion. It's not a bureaucratic process of deeding property to the church and getting it back. No. Of your own free will and volition, you can live these principles in their fullness today.
Yep.
It looks a little different than it did in Missouri, but you can still do it 100% now. You don't. And if you're waiting for the church to ask you to start doing it, ain't going to happen.
You're missing the opportunity.
Maybe at some future Zion pointer in the millennium, there will be a more formal process, but if you're waiting on it, you're going to be waiting.
You're going to miss it.
Yeah, you're going to miss it. So, just very important. Who's the judge? You are the judge of what is sufficient for your needs and
what is your surplus.
What is surplus.
Yep.
That's the law of consecration. And again, this ties all back into what? Building of Zion. This is the law we have to learn to live if we are to build Zion. If there are to be no poor among us and we are to be successful in establishing Zion. This is it. Study it. Put it into your heart. Seek to understand it, discern it spiritually and how it applies to you and your situation, your life. Make the most of it. Seek to be a producer and a good steward. We're all going to have varying degrees of success in this, but what's important is a fullness of heart and intent to live it. That's what the Lord wants. That's what the mercy and atonement of Jesus Christ offers us. All we have to do is offer up broken heart and contrite spirit. And in order to do that correctly and fully, we have to understand the laws. And hopefully this provides some insight to somebody.
Well, it starts to at least solidify some practical terms of how to think about the consecration today when it seems ambiguous so much of the time.
The last slide I have here, the church and money. This is my last slide. I just wanted to, for all the critics of the church that's like they're angry because the church has so much money and they should be doing more than they are for for humanitarian efforts and charity. I just wanted to put this slide in here just to say that the church is more than a charitable institution. The church is the kingdom of God. The church and the brethren are tasked with building the infrastructure of a political global kingdom, a nation, if you will, right? It's the infrastructure for the millennium globally. That's the task of the brethren and the presiding bishopric. That's what they're working to do.